Good Thursday morning. Thanks so much for sticking with us here on ARC Rochester. The gang is all here for this week's edition of From the Ground Up.
Yeah.
Is that the sound effect?
That's the official sound effect. We're waiting to have that put in.
How do you feel about that?
It's like trying to make fetch happen.
Wow. Wow.
Amazing.
Okay.
We've had Steph on the show for how long, and she's finally given it back to me.
Yeah. All right. Listen, I won't do it anymore. Okay.
All right.
That's
Well,
fine.
we'll talk about.
You guys will miss it.
We'll talk about some of this stuff, you know, that we have here coming up. But this week's segment was about annuals versus perennials. This is one of the big topics. People come into the garden center, and a lot of them don't know. It seems simple for a lot of gardeners that have been doing it for years. You know, it's obviously 101 gardening, but for anybody that's starting out, it's a big topic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Roll it. Annual, perennial, what is it and what does it mean, and how do we grow them and keep them healthy? We're at the Garden Factory. I've got Marisa McTiernan here with me, and she is the general manager of the Garden Factory. We're talking about annuals first, then we'll head outside and get to those perennials. But you've got some of your favorites here, huh?
We do, yes.
Okay, and this one right here, we've got, what do we have?
A zinnia.
Okay, and for growing a zinnia, what does this little plant love?
They love full sun and a lot of good, well-draining soil.
Okay, and you get it to the right spot, and how big is it going to get?
So this is short stuff. So the varieties we grow tend to be on the shorter side. You can get really big ones.
Okay.
But these ones will tend to get usually around like 12 to 15 inches.
Okay, and you see a fan favorite right here, this one right here.
The geraniums?
Yeah.
Yep. Love full sun. These are classic. Everybody
Yeah.
loves geraniums.
And can these be put away for the season, brought back out next year? Ever?
People try it, and
Yeah.
you know what? They do have success, but we just grow these for the season. But there are certain people that will bring them inside and bring them back out, but they don't ever usually look quite like this when they do that.
Okay, and we have some vinca here. Sun lover, right?
Yes, love sun.
Is this one of the most drought-tolerant plants, heat-tolerant plants?
Yes, vinca does well. Our marigolds do really well. The portulaca also can do really well with a little bit of drought.
And how big will one of these little plants get?
So these will spread. So these will get pretty wide and big for you.
Oh, that's very good. Now, not everywhere is sunny, so we do have some plants that tolerate a little bit more shade.
Yep. So
And
these are wax begonias.
Okay.
These do really well in shade.
Okay.
Also our New Guinea impatiens.
Okay.
These do really well. Just pinch the flowers off and they're going to be flowering all summer for you.
Do you have to pinch the flowers off on these?
You don't have to, but it encourages the new growth to come out quicker. But they do tend to fall off eventually, but it does look cleaner if you do pinch them off.
Oh, that's really good to know. And you have caladiums, right? Is that?
So this is a sweet potato vine, actually.
Oh, it is sweet potato.
Yep.
It's
So
throwing
this
me
is
off by that leaf.
I know. So yeah, this is a good if you're looking for something
Yeah.
trailing in your containers.
Oh,
this
cool.
is great to use.
Cool.
And there's a few different colors of these. We got a really nice bright green too.
And you grabbed another one of your favorites right over
Yep.
there,
So
right?
this is great if you're looking for height in a container. This is a
Ooh.
purple fountain grass.
That's pretty.
Annual here, but that'll give you nice height.
And it is done after the season. It
Yes,
is not
it
going
is.
to come back.
Correct,
Okay,
yeah.
so now we have to talk about perennials, the difference between the annual and the perennial, and we'll head outside and look at some of those. Okay, so now we're out in the perennials at the Garden Factory. Marisa, I don't think that we covered, what's the difference between an annual and a perennial?
Yeah, it's a good question. So annuals, you're going to get all season of colors, spring through fall, but they're just going to last the season.
Okay, so the first frost, the first sub 32, it's game over, right?
Exactly. So the beauty of those is you're going to have color all season.
Yeah.
Perennials, they're going to come back every year, but they might not flower the entire season.
Okay.
So that's why it's good to have a mix of both.
And we've grabbed a couple of our favorites here. I've got the sage, and you've got your
Shasta daisy.
What do you need to know if you want to grow perennials like these?
So you just have to make sure you're putting them in a spot that they're going to do well. These that we have here do well in a full sun area.
Okay.
We do have a ton of perennials if you have a shadier spot, and we actually keep them underneath the shade structure. So the main thing is you're finding something that's going to do well in your area.
Okay, and some of the favorite sun perennials, if we had to list out 2 or 3 of the fan favorites here, what would they be?
People love coneflowers, lavender we sell a ton of, black-eyed Susans.
Well, we're standing under the shade tarp now at the Garden Factory. Why do these plants here need this above them?
So these can't handle the bright, direct sun quite like the other ones we just looked at. So
Okay.
we keep them under the shade structure so they don't get burned by the sun.
And there's some favorites in here. I see the hosta, they're
Yep.
unmistakable. The Astilbes are here.
Yep.
What are some of the other fan favorites?
Yep, behind you we have coral bells which come in a ton of different colors. So those are great to add some color
Oh,
to
yeah.
a shady
Look at the
spot.
color. Look at the color on that.
We've
right
got
there.
Jacob's Ladder. This is actually a native here. A lot of people love natives. They're looking for natives.
Wow.
So anything you see in these pots here are
Okay.
a native.
That's
So
great.
that's good to know. We've got bleeding hearts. Those do really well in the shade, and you're going to get these cute little heart-shaped flowers.
Now, these plants love shade, but if they are going to see sun, what kind of sun should they see?
Yeah.
What side of the house should they be?
Yeah, so these should be on like a north or east side of the house, just morning sun.
Okay.
And they'll do okay there.
Like duration of sunlight, how much direct sun can they handle?
Direct sun, not a whole lot. Try and keep it around 4 to 5 hours of sun
Okay.
in the morning.
Yep.
If they get a little bit of afternoon sun early, that's okay, but you really want to keep it just the morning sun.
Anything we should know about trimming them back in the fall? It could be the shade perennials or it could be the sun perennials.
Yep, so you can cut them back. These are all going to die back to the ground and then regrow next year.
Yeah, so that's the big difference. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of folks see the word annual and they think my plant's going to come back annually.
Yeah.
And that is not the case. You know,
No, you've got to do the work annually.
Yes, you're buying more plants annually. You know, I mean that's just the way it goes up here. You know, if you're down in Florida, these things will go all year. Some of them, they'll be perennial down in Florida.
Some of them, though, some of the annuals, you can dig the bulbs up.
Sure.
Correct?
Sure. Yeah, like a dahlia or something like that. Elephant ears, I love elephant ears.
Yeah.
You know, they're bulbs. They come back in, you dry them out, you put them in your basement, someplace dark and quiet, and you come back to them late April and May next year.
Okay, that was going to be my question.
Yeah.
Like, do you have to dig them out, or will they just kind of like disappear on their own?
So it depends on the winter and it depends on the frost depth, but things like gladiolas, you know, bulbs like those, some of them will make it through, some of them will not make it through. So if you leave those in the ground, you know, season after season, you will eventually have to replant all of them because they'll fade over time. But we've experienced some winters where that was actually the case.
All right, we're running low on time, but
Yeah.
this looks awesome here.
this
All
was
of
our
our little growth.
This was our seed tray that we started 4 weeks ago.
That's
Right.
incredible.
I mean, look at I mean, it's just popped out. Of course, we had the advantage of growing this in a greenhouse at the garden factory. But the lettuce is ready to go. Our tomatoes are just about ready. The marigolds here on the end are looking pretty good. Actually, they've got some buds showing already. And the rest of these veggies back here, hopefully these will be in the ground next week. And hopefully we'll be putting some of those in the ground on the air next week. The weather has not been great for some of
It
our
really
plans,
has
but
not.
has shown some signs of improvement, and we think we're going to get there.
Yeah, sunshine ahead for you guys.
Yeah, yep.
All right, McLean, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Time right now is 9:38. When we come back, we're taking a look at some of the stories that have people talking this Friday Eve morning.
Hey, and don't forget, you can watch us on the go wherever you are. Arc Rochester is streaming live right now on the 13 Wham YouTube channel. Stick around. We're back after this.